Yes, I've finally made it. Heavy Metal Queen. This is the rarest henchman in the game. Time to recruit Full Metal Jackie. Okay guys, the reason that Full Metal Jackie is such a rare henchman to be able to find is because her side story has very specific requirements. The story is going to involve Eli Barracuda Jr., Jubei, Dr. Ming, and Sir Daniel. So you cannot begin their side stories at all to be able to unlock Full Metal Jackie. So once again, you have to purposefully avoid Eli Barracuda Jr., Jubei, Dr. Ming, and Sir Daniel. Don't touch their side stories at all, and then you're going to be able to get Full Metal Jackie. Now, Full Metal Jackie doesn't unlock until pretty late in the game. You have to have the Quantum Chemist to be able to start her story because she's going to have a few missions that require the Quantum Chemist as well. Putting all that together means you have to play in a very specific way to be able to get to this game state to be able to unlock Full Metal Jackie, because Eli Barracuda Jr., Jubei, Dr. Ming, and Sir Daniel are all at the very top of the list of what people consider the most useful henchmen. So if you've been paying attention at all to henchman recruitment advice, you've probably picked up one of them, and that means you've locked yourself out of being able to get Full Metal Jackie.
Explain to me why I shouldn't feed you to the sharks for your failure.
We were outgunned. They had better weapons than ever before. We didn't stand a chance.
This isn't the first time recently that our intelligence has underestimated enemy ordnance.
What does that mean?
It means someone has been equipping my rivals. It's time I found out whom.
So here in this first mission of Full Metal Jackie's recruitment story, she's going to throw up these threats within the Patriot states, either giving you a ton of heat gain, or there are going to be some here that are going to pop up that are going to really cost you a lot of money if you don't send units out to resolve them. But they're popping up literally all over the place. I don't have the minions to be able to send out to resolve these, so we're just going to have to take the hit in the pocketbook and locking down this region as we try and gather intel all across the world stage. Oh, hung up on socialite training. Alright, Max, time to make yourself useful.
You have the true working.
Promote them, Max, promote them. Meet them on the world stage. Isabella Williams and Karen Wobbles, consider yourselves fast-tracked. I think the play is just leaving Max right here. Unsure what our valets, socialites, and scientists are going to be able to accomplish against Sir Daniel in the forests of Africa, but we'll see what they can do. Alright, Jackie's waiting for us in New Zealand.
Am I to believe that your name is really Full Metal Jackie?
It was either that or Lock, Stock, and Carol. Now, you buying or selling, mate?
Buying, but I don't work remotely. I want you to demonstrate your wares in person. Premium prices paid.
Ooh, reckon I'd be a drongo to say no to that kind of cash. My other clients might have an issue with it, though.
I don't care about them. Make me happy, and I'll be the only client you ever need.
Alright, Jackie, show me what you got. Oh man, Jackie's helmet, so good. I love it. Closing his eyes, okay. It's a shame that they don't have the dummies popping up in this little animation like they usually do. I like the guns. The guns seem good. They can clearly take a lot of blunt force trauma. Can Max even see over this counter? Like, just barely. Just barely.
Training resumed.
Alright, speed it up.
Jackie, do you care to explain why my island is under siege by people with your weapons?
My clients were hoping for more of an exclusive arrangement. Selling to you made them madder than a cut snake.
And you expect me to solve this problem for you?
Oh, you don't have to. But I can't sell you any of this nice stuff if I'm not alive. So...
Very well. I'll defend your life. And when you survive, I will be your only buyer.
And she immediately runs off. Okay, great. Leaving me to deal with the mess. It's not entirely unexpected. Your rivals want monopoly. Defend the free market. Yes, we should all be able to buy weapons. Oh man, these goons weren't messing around. Full rifles and gas masks? Oh. Okay, so Dr. Ming in the green with the gas masks and the rifles. These guys are from Eli Barracuda Jr., the American thugs. And then over here, obviously, Jubei. They even say it. Jubei's personal students. What about Sir Daniel? Yeah, no-show? It's a little daunting because of how much stealth he uses in his missions, but it looks like he just didn't send any goons. I wonder why they would leave Sir Daniel out like that. Okay, so the quest says I only have to defeat 5 goons in the lair, but it seems pretty unavoidable that I'll have to fight all 9. 150, 150, 150. Also 150, 150, 150. Quality poor versus quality great. Is the difference that they're carrying a rifle? I think that's the only difference. Because their stat lines are identical. Red Iris, hold them back. Attack my lair, will you, Eli? Well, now I will become involved in this little turf war of yours on the other side. Good luck running your labs when none of your employees show up for work, Dr. Ming.
Well, mate, deal's a deal. You saved my life, and now I'll sell you my best. But I do also buy, you know?
I don't take your meaning.
Generators, hypercondensers, alloy slabs. Come on, we're both pros here. You're building something big.
Our business together has narrow parameters. This falls well outside of them.
Fair income. But if you ever decide to stop hating money, give me a call.
Usually that would win Max over, but the Midas device is not for sale. We have bigger plans for her. Side story part 2, arms race.
Oh, g'day. So, made a few calls, lined up a buyer even. Lets you and me make a fortune, yeah?
A fortune doing what, precisely?
Selling your fancy super weapon, you drongo. And don't pretend like you don't have one.
Fine, but it's not for sale. Now, what shall I assume about the inbound aircraft with your radar signature?
Assume that I'm in sales and that I'll never give up on a good deal. Ta.
Full Metal Jackie, you have betrayed me. Alright, Jackie, you insult me. Either you don't hire the best, or you didn't send the best. Guy, the casino's up top. Come on. Where are you going? Oh, what is this? Is he actually just straight up leaving? Nope. Not leaving, but, nothing for him down here. One little goon played slots. One little goon played cards. All the other little goons are buried and dead, killed by Max's guards. Okay, so this goon walked in here, took a bunch of poison darts to the face, turned around, came out here to the complaint desk, and then lodged a complaint. Oh, she's going back in. Trap's still there! Gotcha! Oh, she's going down. It's a sinking ship. You thought the little darts hurt? Well, take that! For great quality agents, they're really having a hard time with these poison darts. So I record and I save within... Yeah. I record and I save within Google Drive. And I ran out of space on Google Drive, so I had like 2 hours of recording corrupted. There wasn't no way to salvage it. So I'm starting over. Yes, I'd like to see a manager. I have a complaint about this giant robot in a pink dress punching me and my partner in the
Your
face.
minions are in combat.
You must be an absurdly well-connected woman to shut down a global market.
G'day. Changed your mind about doing business yet?
There are so many other ways you could leverage a profit. Let this one go.
Ain't about the profit anymore. I don't like how you talk to me, so I'm gonna make this difficult.
Very well, I've survived worse. I shall survive you.
Alright, this is the obligatory research portion of the side story where you have to cancel what you're doing and try and run this. This is where we have to bring in our Quantum Chemist and the supercomputer, so this is partially why Full Metal Jackie's side story doesn't open up until very late in the game.
We have the report. The fuel generation procedure yielded mixed results.
Mixed?
Yes, a mixture of casualties and fatalities. It's just not practical to manufacture here.
Pretty sure those are the same thing.
Full Metal Jackie has committed the ultimate sin. She's made my life difficult. Time for her to go.
Alright, at this point in the side story, we start getting missions specifically from Full Metal Jackie. And so we have schemes here: Midas Fuel, get 1 Doomsday Fuel. One of your fuel affiliates has stopped selling to you. Send a team of minions to persuade her to reconsider her position. These pop up all over, so it almost looks like there's one in every single region. It looks like, well, that's probably because I'm running a scheme already in that region. But I think in every single region where you're not already running a scheme, you're going to get one of these missions. So you could really stock up on your Doomsday Fuel right here. Because these don't cost any money, barely cost any intel, and do not raise the heat of a region at all, which is the incredible part of these. Also, the fact that you can just send basic workers rather than any type of leveled up ones is awesome. Time for part 2, Electric Goondaloo. These guys have the same stats as before, so this is the exact same configuration that we've already fought. And to send my proprietary paparazzi to figure out how Full Metal Jackie managed to double-cross me, supply weapons to her former customers. Yes, I think you know enough to be a socialite. Now to make Jackie believe she has won and offer the sale of my Doomsday device.
Gotta say, I never actually expected you to change your mind. But I'm glad you did.
I'm attempting to remake the world order, but I cannot argue with economics.
Ah, settle pedal. She'll be right as rain. And you'll get paid. I run a fair business here.
I suppose. I'll just miss its telltale hum in the bowels of my lair. When will you arrive?
Any second now, mate. Brought some friends along just in case. Figured you wouldn't mind. Ta.
Full Metal Jackie is here. Convert her or
The
kill
heat of the
her.
criminal network.
Just as I had hoped, Jackie, you have come to take care of business personally. Oh, still love the hat. 200, 100, 200. These are the stats that we're going to have to face up against now. Even though the side story says you can kill or convert her, you have no chance of actually capturing her at this point. She doesn't have the trait Potential Henchman yet. That's going to come up in the next chapter of the side story, so we're going to let her forget. But she will escape with her life, and then it'll open up another chapter. Alright, now this is where the paths of the side story diverge. If we take Backfire, then we take out Jackie for good. If we do 18 with a bullet, then we will have the opportunity to be able to recruit her. This is where we're going.
Story.
Capture Full Metal Jackie from the world stage. Well, we're just getting right into it, aren't we? 15 heat, and it's going to cost us an entire army. Deploy!
So, Full Metal Jackie. What am I to do with you?
G'day. Well, it's not really good anymore, is it?
It is for me. I get to finally tweeze a nasty little thorn from my side for good.
Or I could work for you, like you always wanted. Just throwing that out there.
Is that so? I suppose you have proven yourself capable. Well, what's your opening offer? You were a good businesswoman, but small-minded. Under my leadership, you will flourish.
I was only ever in it because I liked cutting deals and trotting the globe. That's why I do this.
Well, now you do it to make me money. And that starts with dissolving your other business relationships.
Oh, that'll be a rough one. You saw how they reacted when I changed our terms before.
I did, but I beat them before, and now we will.
Alright, our revenge begins against Dr. Ming. Dismantle the biologist operations. Alright, not sure what is so important to Eli Barracuda Jr.'s operation up in Greenland, but we're going to take it out. Shadan, I think you are confused. There is no right to arm bears. Yes, Counter Jubei in Portugal, the famous Portuguese martial artists. Hold an arms fair on the world stage. Yep, it's in America.
Well then, that sews it up for me. This is way more fun than going it on my own.
I'm certain it's fun, but I also expect your permanent loyalty.
Where I'm from, we got friends and we got mates. Know what the difference is?
I'm the greatest intellect in history. I know everything. But do go on.
The difference between a friend and a mate is that someday a friend might let you down. Mate?
Alright, and just like that, Full Metal Jackie has joined the team. Let's break down what this Australian firecracker brings to the team. Alright, an interesting piece about Full Metal Jackie is that she brings unique schemes to the world map. So here we have one in Brazil, lock, stock, option, barrel, and we see that it is for $250,000, completing over 4 minutes 10 seconds, costing 20 intel, and a splattering of advanced minions. There are a couple different configurations of which minions you need to send on the schemes, but they always pay out the same $250,000 in 4 minutes for 20 intel. This is a pretty good deal for the mid to late game. Once you reach level 3 and level 4 level criminal networks, those schemes, just the generic ones, are probably going to be better than this, but these can give you a good option to make some very quick cash. The key here is that it completes so quickly, and if you're not really pressed for these different minion types, then you can make a lot of money very fast if you're in a pinch. The downside here is that these special missions are sized and noted the same as the critical quest missions. Why did they choose to do this? They spin, they have the arrows pointing to them and everything. So now whenever when I advance the main storyline and I want to find what the next real quest is that I need to find, instead of these effectively generic ones that Full Metal Jackie is giving me all over, then I have to thumb through every single one of these just to make sure that I'm not missing what the real quest is. And eventually you can memorize what all the names are and what they do. But as you can see, there's a lot of variety. They have a bunch of different names, and they also have different appearances. Like we have the guards orange up here, and then we have the scientist green down here. So Jackie's bringing a lot of variety, which is just confusing for the way that they have labeled these unique quests. Honestly, that could be reason not to recruit Full Metal Jackie for some people just right there, because the time spent just wasted on the world map passing over all the quests that she's showing so that you can find the real quest can be a deal breaker to some people. But if you don't mind putting up with that, then these are just part of her kit. They're a pretty good quest, and yeah, they're inseparable from who she is as a character. Full Metal Jackie is completely set up for combat, so let's see how well she does in a shootout to protect the casino from this small band of investigators that have just arrived.
Go ahead, mate. Whatever. Time to die, little guy.
Ooh, alright, so she's bringing a grenade launcher, packing a ton of heat here.
Live fire demonstration coming right
This
up.
is crazy. Oh, I love it. Alright, now while it might look like Jackie's attacks cause large explosions and area of effect damage, they do not. They are only doing damage to the specific agent that she is targeting. Now, when you apply her first ability here, Fire Sail, it's going to give all of her attacks a chance of lighting the target on fire. This is an enormous buff for her. She has a ammo set on the fire sail that are the incendiary rounds that cause targets to light on fire, and it will also knock them over, giving her a little bit of crowd control on top of the damage buff. Now, the buff here is going to continue to run even though her ammo has run out. So this is similar to Eli Barracuda Jr.'s Silver Revolver. You have both ammo and a time limit on the ability, but here, even once we've run out of ammo, the timer is still going to run all the way out until the cooldown starts to recharge. But overall, she's putting out a lot of damage. She is a powerful, powerful defensive unit for your base. Full Metal Jackie's second ability, Handguns, area of effect buff. Jackie equips nearby muscle minions with guns, handguns to be precise. Perfectly in line with her character as an arms dealer. It's going to be an area of effect buff. So we get a brief flash of the radius here, and then she throws out the shower of weapons, and as you can see, these muscle minions just picked up their very own handguns. This is great because there's nothing that there's nothing that allows you to force the weapon choice of guards. And so here you can see there's just one pistol that's left here in the rack that none of my guards have decided to pick up. They're instead going around just using their fists, and being able to have a weapon is much better than just using their basic melee attack. And of course, this is going to depend a little bit on what other weapons you have researched and what slant of weapon you want your guards using. If you're focused on trying to capture enemies, then this is going to be a little bit less useful because this is focused on the lethal version of the weapons, the pistols, rather than the stun pistols. But it can help you really equip a bunch of your guards very quickly on the fly. So here we had Full Metal Jackie in the armory where all the guards are naturally gathered to be able to supply them. And now it just so happens that Agent X and his investigators are in the lair within my security system's sights. Time to go hunting, mates.
Your minions are in combat.
Guards have gotten word from the security cameras, and they're off.
I'm armed.
All right, that is Full Metal
dangerous.
Jackie. She feels like the most reliable character in a firefight. Definitely the one that you want on your side of things. I really love this character. She has a great stat line. Her abilities really augment her damage potential, which is exactly what she is focused and themed around doing. But then even when you are not running her abilities, the fact that she has such a powerful range attack, good attack speed, and can still hold up in melee combat if necessary really makes her an all-around base defender. Excellent, excellent choice. I really wish that her side story was not so convoluted and challenging to be able to just get to. The fact that you have to leave off Eli Barracuda Jr., Jubei, Dr. Ming, and Sir Daniel from your early game is really unfortunate, and the fact that if you have decided to pick up any of those characters, that then you are just locked out completely of being able to get her just sucks. You can still be able to work around it eventually if you start a different save, but that feels like a really hollow point, saying that, yeah, you just don't get to play with this toy unless you're planning on getting it from the very beginning, and you have no way of knowing its conditions until somebody else tells you, basically, because the game doesn't tell you what the requirements are for any of these henchmen. Now, it is important to note that this does not mean that she's mutually exclusive from recruiting Eli, Jubei, any of those other ones. You can still ultimately recruit those henchmen, but you have to do so after you have already recruited Full Metal Jackie. The fact that she brings unique schemes to the table as well makes her really, really interesting. This is similar to the sushi chef. This is a mixed bag, I feel like, because on the one hand, the unique schemes are really good. They're beneficial to be able to run, especially in the mid game. By the late game, they're going to start falling off. But they clutter up the world map so much, and they conflict with the critical path of main storyline quests, how those quests are indicated on the world map, that they're going to make you waste a bunch of time scrolling throughout every single region to make sure you're getting to the quest that you really want to be running. So I can see some people being completely turned off from Jackie for that reason, and other people not minding so much and actually enjoying being able to do those unique schemes. There you go, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video showing off Full Metal Jackie and exactly how you can recruit her as well. Leave a comment if you're going to have to start a new save to be able to get her because of these crazy requirements for her side story. And subscribe if you want to see more videos about Evil Genius 2. I'm going to be pumping out a bunch of other ones about all the henchmen, and coming up soon, the full henchman tier list. Really looking forward to that video coming out. Thank you guys, and have a good one.